It always seemed like the kind of thing that only happened in the movies. One wild night turning an entire circle of friends upside down. But not too long ago, I learned firsthand that reality could be just as cruel. Our friend group was tight-knit, practically family. There were 4 couples in total. The first had been married for 3 years and had a toddler. My wife, Mara, and I had been married for a year and a half. Another couple had just tied the knot last summer, and the last 2, Rachel and Nick, were preparing for their wedding in early February. We were all close in age, worked in the same field, and lived in the same neighborhood. We'd been through so much together: birthdays, holidays, career changes, late-night venting sessions. But then came the night that shattered everything beyond repair. Nick and Rachel's wedding was fast approaching, and we were all eagerly looking forward to it. But before the big day, there was one last tradition to uphold: the bachelor and bachelorette parties. Though the tradition itself could be debated, we always had a blast with it, so no one ever had any objections. Nick invited us guys to a popular nightclub, but laid down one firm rule: no wild stuff. He said, "Rachel doesn't want me ogling random dancers. She wants us to respect each other and just have a chill night with friends." I teased him, "Weak sauce man. This was supposed to be your last hurrah before marriage, and you're blowing it. We practically egged you on to get married faster just for the bachelor party, and now look at this." The guys laughed, giving Nick a playful smack on the back. "Come on," he defended himself. "There are only 4 of us. If we're drinking, we'll come up with at least 4 spectacularly dumb ideas. We'll have fun, don't worry." On Saturday, we grabbed a taxi and headed to the club while the wives had their own plans, lured by the promise of a karaoke bar. The night started as expected. Drinks flowed freely, and conversations turned nostalgic as we swapped stories from married life and reminisced about our teenage years. Every now and then, I'd check in with Mara. "Hey, how's it going over there? Your big night out, any fun?" "It's awesome," she replied, her voice already giddy with excitement. "Rachel just won a contest. She popped all her balloons first and won a bottle of brandy. We figured, why waste it? Now we're chasing champagne with brandy." I chuckled. "Wow, it's about gone already, huh? We just got started," she said. "Actually, let me get back before they finish the bottle without me." I hung up, laughing, and told the guys that our wives were having a great time. An hour later, Mara's speech had taken on a noticeable slur. No surprise, mixing champagne and brandy wasn't a recipe for a light buzz. "How's it going over there?" I asked again. "Oh, everything's fine, we're good," she slurred. Something felt off. There was hesitation in her voice, like she was trying to hide something. "You sure? I swear I hear some guys in the background." Her response came quickly, too quickly. "No, it's only us. Just the girls." Then she abruptly hung up. After that, I couldn't reach her again for the rest of the evening. Meanwhile, we kept going, drinking, laughing, bonding. By the time we wrapped up, it was close to 3 a.m., and I realized Mara still wasn't home. Her phone was off. I tried not to panic, but my mind was racing. Eventually, the sound of her stumbling into our apartment at 6 a.m. woke me up. She was trying to be quiet, but failing miserably, knocking over chairs and the side table. I got up to find her completely hammered. Standing there in the dim light, I couldn't help but wonder, what could a married woman possibly be doing out until this hour, still so intoxicated? I tried to reason with myself, convincing myself that maybe they had been belting out karaoke songs, dancing until they couldn't stand, or sitting on a park bench, crying about their struggles. I'd heard enough of their group chats to know how these nights sometimes went. But none of that helped the gnawing feeling in my gut. "Mara, why didn't you pick up your phone?" I asked, steadying her as she struggled with her shoes, her words slurring as she mumbled something about her battery dying. Then, in a moment of complete surrender, she collapsed onto the bed, instantly passing out. I wasn't getting any more sleep after that. My hangover set in quickly, my head pounding like a jackhammer. I dragged myself to the kitchen, desperate for water and aspirin. Just as the pill hit my stomach, my phone rang, its shrill sound piercing through my foggy thoughts. It was Nick. "Yours back home yet?" he asked, his voice tight with agitation. "Yeah, not long ago. Smashed," I replied, already feeling the weight of his tension. "Can she talk?" "Well, sort of." "Then ask her what the girls were up to last night, would you? She's already passed out." I sighed, not yet fully grasping the urgency in Nick's voice. "I'm not waking her up." In the background, I could hear Rachel yelling, followed by the distinct sound of something crashing, probably a plate shattering. Then Nick spoke again, his voice full of fury. Dude, you have no clue what they did, he spat. And these are the same women telling us we shouldn't hire dancers for our bachelor party? Unbelievable. But I'm not staying quiet about this. I can't just swallow it. Look at the pictures I sent you. Before I could respond, he hung up. I opened the message with shaking hands. The photos were graphic, leaving no room for doubt. My wife and her 3 friends, surrounded by several men who were clearly male dancers. But what made my stomach churn wasn't just their presence. It was what the girls had done with them. They hadn't just watched, they had participated. My stomach twisted into knots. My body tensed in shock and fury, and I felt a wave of nausea rise in me. I couldn't breathe. The phone rang again. Nick's voice this time was livid. You seeing this man? He asked. She crawled home, dropped everything in the hallway, passed out on the couch. I picked up her phone, and like an idiot, I looked. Did you see those pictures? I could barely comprehend his words through the haze of my hangover and the gut-wrenching sense of betrayal. My mind was struggling to process everything. Yeah, I muttered, barely able to speak. Dude, not only did they bring in male dancers, but they got trashed and started hooking up with them. And one genius decided to film it. I even have video. You want me to send it? No, Nick, the photos are more than enough, I said, feeling the weight of the words. I couldn't stay in the apartment any longer. The suffocating reality of what had happened was too much. I stepped outside for air, hoping the cool night would clear my head. But when I returned, I couldn't ignore it anymore. I woke Mara up, told her to pack a bag and leave. She scrambled for excuses, claiming I must have misunderstood, that the other girls were lying, but when I showed her the photos, she fell silent. There was nothing left to say. An hour later, my phone buzzed again. It was a message from Nick. The wedding is off. If you want details, talk to Rachel. That was it. On what would have been Nick's wedding day, he invited us guys out for a drink, asking for our support. None of us were in any emotional state to offer comfort, but we showed up, still reeling, trying to make sense of everything. How could it have gone so wrong? How do you get so drunk that you forget basic boundaries? Or worse, how do you go that far and not stop yourself? Or maybe if you let yourself slip that far, you wanted it all along. A few beers in, and we realized something absurd. We had missed out on a proper bachelor party. So, in a moment of bitter irony, we decided to have one, for newly free men, now with the supposed right to watch dancers if we wanted. Our worlds had flipped upside down. 3 relationships shattered in a single night, all because of one wild bachelorette party.